How's everybody doing out there? This is Gabe 2027 coming at you with my would-be review of the NextReef MR1 phosphate reactor. In this particular reactor I am running ROWAphos and I'm also running an activated carbon. Initially when I purchased this I was having problems with my phosphates. I purchased a 28-gallon aquarium, a JVJ Nano HQI to be exact. Shortly after that I put in 45 pounds of live rock, which I cured at home, but it seemed like there was a lot of leaching of phosphates into the aquarium and I tended to have a lot of major problems with phosphates until I added this baby. When I added this, my phosphates pretty much dumped down to zero within 2 to 3 weeks. Awesome, awesome, awesome. There's a lot of phosphate reactors out there on the market. Some are a little bit more expensive and some are a little bit cheaper. I would say that for the market this is probably like a more upper end. And when I say that, I mean it means that you're probably going to spend $10 or maybe $20 more for this phosphate reactor. And to me, it's well worth the money because I think it is that much better built, and it's going to last a long time, and you're going to have fewer problems with it physically leaking over your stuff, which would suck. This does come standard hang-on, which means that you can hang it on the side of your aquarium, which I do have right now. Aesthetically, it's awesome. It looks really nice. It's really well put together. And again, I haven't had any problems with it. I'm going to go ahead and show you real quick what I got here. It's a 4-inch acrylic tube, and you can judge by the size of my hand that it's pretty big. And I would say it almost adds a gallon of water to your existing system, so we'll add a little bit of that volume. Down here is where the water will come up and actually interact with the media before it gets pulled back up and into the aquarium. It's made out of this nice blue acrylic that's on the bottom, and also has some of that on the top, as well as black sponges with white separators, so it looks really nice. It did come with a pump, it came with tubing, and it came with Teflon tape, so that way you can put it together. Putting it together was a snap. It took a very small amount of time to get it up and running. Again, this model, I purchased it, I think I spent like an additional $10 or $20 to get the pump and the tubing, blue matching tubing included with it, and to me that was well worth the cost. Did purchase it from Marine Depot, and when I purchased it from Marine Depot, I also purchased with it extra filter pads and extra O-ring that goes on the top. On the top of the filter, what I have here is I have the cap. This is the inlet tube, and this is the outlet tube. These are the takedown screws in order to take it apart, and then below here you'll see that third piece of acrylic is actually the hang-on part that attaches to these 3 or 4 screws that are at the top. I believe that there are 6 screws that hold this together, and all you do is you just loosen these, rotate it counterclockwise, pop that top off to clean it. However, it shouldn't be that long. You gotta excuse this, it's a work in progress. I did out LED Altinics, which I might review later, but I did have to get this canopy off the aquarium or else the lighting would be dipping in there, and I can't have that. Here you can see the separation and the inlet tube, how the media is reacting, and where the water is coming in, where it actually interacts with the media. Again, awesome. Aesthetically looks nice, functionally works great. I would recommend that somebody purchase this, as opposed to the other ones that are out on the market, which I hear have a lot of problems with leaking. Again, this is a newer reef aquarium, and again I'm just running the Altinics in it right now, which are all LEDs, and just kind of give you a, even though it's a hard time seeing stuff, I am starting to run SPS's in here, and I do have an LPS for a hammer. I had this coral which started off as a 6-inch coral, and it's easily like a foot across now. It's humongous. And then I got pumping zinnias up in the corner here, which I started off with one, and I got several of those, and I honestly need to pull them out of my tank because they're going to become a plague. I have a couple of anemones and then a clam that you can see right here. Again, started off with some phosphate problems and ultimately ended up with no problems when it came down to this thing. I call it a media reactor because you could use it for all sorts of things, whether it be activated carbon, and I even had plans to make it into a fluidized sand bed filter, which might be an option. I did buy the media for this fluidized sand filter once my phosphates become not a problem anymore and I've got it completely out of the live rock. I might go that route. But for now, I'm going to finish up the ROWAphos, probably run this for about 6 months, and then see what happens. I hope that this has helped. Any comments, criticisms, or questions are always welcome in my corner, and again, happy reefing.